My name is Teresa. I'm the owner of Teapot's Pottery, a working pottery studio in Truckee, California. And the purpose of this video is to introduce you to the studio. At the studio, I offer classes as well as drop-in nights or open studios. Some people would think of it. Kind of consider drop-in a controlled chaos. I have people of all different levels who come in. Some people are throwing, other people are doing hand building, just a little bit of everything. I'm here to help on drop-in, and it's a lot of fun, but it's not as structured as classes. The studio is about 1,500 square feet. The front room is the display area. It's the smallest room. The middle room is the main working area. It has the potter's wheels in it, the extruder, tables for working on, the clay wedging area. And then the back room houses all the glaze. So you do all your glazing back there. The slab roller is back there, the kiln, as well as all the drying shelves and work in progress type shelves. I've got a long time, and I've actually done a whole bunch of videos trying to figure out what to say, what to do for this video. And I decided that the participants who come to the studio on a regular basis are the best ones to tell you about it. So as we go on, they're going to tell you what they like about the studio. I'm going to help and show a little more detail of some of the features we have in the studio, but I'll let them take it from here.
You know, it's fun throwing on the wheels.
I like the potting wheel.
I guess I could say the wheel.
I am fascinated by the wheel. That's still my favorite piece of equipment.
I would have to say the little carving tools for trimming, because you can have something that looks really bad, and once you trim everything away, you can turn something that's all heavy and bottom heavy into something that looks really functional and pretty.
But I like having the separate trimming wheel that you can just cinch down your piece if you can. That way, you know, when you're trimming, you're just trimming, and that's what you're doing, and there's a separate spot for it and all of that. It's easier to clean up.
I got this wheel when I was in high school. I'm not going to tell you how many years ago that was. It's a funky wheel. The pedal works backwards, so you push on this side and it goes fast. You push down with your toes and it slows down. This is Bo. The on-off switch is broken, so we've replaced it with just a regular light toggle type switch. Years ago I broke the splash pan, so I found this big monstrous thing. I think it's a cement mixing pan I found at Home Depot. Just drilled 4 holes in it so I could bolt it down. Actually, it works great for keeping the trimmings off the ground. So this is the dedicated trimming wheel.
I really like this little extruder over here. Yeah, it does these very cool things. Yes.
The slab roller.
My favorite right now is the slab roller because I know how to use it, and I hope my favorite's going to be the wheel soon.
Slab roller used up a lot of space, so my husband got a piano type hinge for it. So this just goes full length, or to help conserve space, it folds down.
The pug mill, because all of these mistakes don't actually go to waste. They go straight into something new, a new creation. So we're not wasting any clay, we're recycling here in the studio.
This is the dirty corner where the pug mill is. I have a Peter Pugger VPM 30. It is a de-airing pug mill. As you can see, I have a bucket down here for wet slop. And then I also have the garbage can on wheels for the dryer clay, so we can move it in between the working room and back to here. We recycle all the clay. In the studio, we use two types of clay. We use B-Mix by Laguna, and we also use Navajo Wheel, which is an IMCO clay.
I like the wheel, but I actually, I love to do slab work also. I just like working with the clay. I think the clay is...
My favorite toy is the selection of glazes that you have here, because there's a lot of choices and they can do a lot of different things just looking at everything that's on this wall.
Awesome glazes.
Clay tiles. Yeah, the glazes are really organized, and it's nice to be able to look through them and see what colors you want.
Hanging up on the wall there are all the different color combinations. Total, I have 22 glazes. I mix all of my own glazes. And up there's something like 467 different options for glazes that people may or may not want to use.
My favorite tool, this is a silly one, but is your drill with the long attachment that mixes up the glazes and makes them the perfect consistency so they, you know, I have a higher rate of success with my finished piece. It's such a great idea.
The infamous glaze mixer. It's just a paint mixer I found at the hardware store. My husband made this for me. Each of the chemicals has its own space, its own little cubby here. And if you notice, he put it on drawer glides. So I can pull it out easily and push it back in.
Okay, my favorite is the kilns, because when I make stuff, it's always really flimsy and breakable, but once it goes through the kiln, somehow it's able to withstand.
Here's my kiln area. I wanted to show you a few really cool features that I've done. Number one, my husband put in the hoist, and that's just from Harbor Freight. It's just a crank, and so the lid can go up and can go down, and that way I'm not having to worry about the hinge. It goes up even higher than this, so it gets it all the way out of the way. So I had some old kiln shelves that are broken or warped, so we cut them into smaller squares. That way, if there's a glaze job that's a little bit iffy, I can put this down, put their piece on top of it, and in case it does completely roll off onto the shelf, at least all I'm doing is tossing this instead of having to grind shelves again. I just moved to this location in November of 2009. It is so exciting for us to have running water in the studio. I didn't have that in the old location. So here we have two sinks, and we have our own bathroom that we don't have to share with anybody else. Come on down here. With so many people in the studio using clay, I get concerned about the amount of clay that could be going down the sink. So I've done two things. The first is this bucket over here, that's where people put the slip or the really wet type clay, and we can use that and recycle it. The other thing, this bucket underneath here is the drain for the sink. Both sinks drain into this same 5-gallon bucket, and it works as a clay trap. Over on that black pipe on the side is where then the water goes out and goes down the drain, and all the heavier slip and clay that gets in here sinks down to the bottom. So what do you like best about drop-in?
Oh, the color of these walls is just to die for.
It's a studio, there's lots of space, and I like all the equipment that you have.
And also just the whole setup of the studio is really organized.
You make everybody feel really super welcome and happy. And
it's just so fun. I love it. I love the freedom.
I keep coming back for the people that can teach me how to do what I need to do. And I like the challenge.
My favorite thing about pottery is an excuse to be really, really messy.
The creating.
And then make pretty things with the dirt.
Perfect.
I love it here.
And having a positive environment is certainly a good thing.
The creative energy that's in this studio, because I work in public education where creativity is not currently appreciated. So coming here and just being able to do whatever you want is really a great thing, and being around people that are equally creative.
Do you want to just script it? Do you want my answers? Do you want
I know, okay, what's your answer?
I hate being on camera.
Pottery.